so shut the hell up. But speaking of making stupid decisions, that's going to get us straight into Wine About It. And I know you want to talk about Ross Chastain. You like what I did there?
That was
right.
well done. Well played.
Yes. So Wine About It, presented by L'uva Bella Winery. I'll let you kick this off with Ross Chastain, the biggest topic this week. Outside of, I mean, this is even bigger than Truex winning the race.
Yeah, honestly, we probably got to blame Ross for,
Thanks,
the end
Ross.
Of fantasy as well. Yeah, the end of random fantasy as well. It's probably Ross's fault.
I hated
that
that segment so much.
Yeah, the stupid. That should be the real Wine About It. What the hell is that segment? God, it was dumb. But okay, so my Wine About It, Ross Chastain, what are you doing? You've made a lot of mistakes. You always admit when you make the mistakes. You apologize. You say you're sorry. I get it.
Does he though?
I'm glad you apologized. He did. I mean, he straight up apologized. Said, "I'm sorry. I screwed up.
I didn't mean to do that.
I didn't mean." Yeah. I mean, at least he takes fault for when he screws up. Dude, you got to stop doing that. You're at the point now. You're not just reputationally, but just the number of times this has happened. How are you not learning from it? Why are we still doing this?
It was lap 80. Lap 80.
Yeah, lap 80. A back marker.
Of a 400-lap race to a back marker.
It's so bad. And I've gone to bat for Ross a few times. I went to bat for him in the race last week with Noah Gragson. There was a hole there. I fully believe he had a good move there. I went to bat for him on the Kevin Harvick incident where, he didn't touch him and Harvick just spun out. I think it was at Atlanta. And
yeah,
I went to bat for him at a couple of times, and I'm even getting points where people are commenting on me on Twitter like, "Oh, you're just a Ross Chastain stan," and I'm like, "No, I just call it like I see it. I'm not a Ross Chastain stan. I will call the dude out if he screws up because he screwed up, and he keeps screwing up. He screwed up with Denny Hamlin last year. He screwed up again with Denny Hamlin last year. He screwed up with, I think, Truex last year. He screwed up with Kyle Busch at some point. Like, the dude has made a lot of mistakes, and he just is not learning from them.
Why? Okay. Why is nobody paying him back?
So, Larson's payback. Well,
Larson's payback was gold. I love.
It was
Larson's
awesome.
Payback.
It was great. It was unfortunate that the caution ended up coming out, and although Ross basically closed that 1.5 second gap back, but
that was the best part of it because he lost. I think it was like a full second, and he had it gained back within like 2 laps. I was like, holy shit!
Yeah. But that was how you pay somebody back outside of putting them in the wall. That's how you pay somebody back. Exactly what Larson did. He didn't go the Matt Kenseth route and just slam him into the wall, which
I was rooting
to this
for.
Day I love. I wanted it to happen. I'm not gonna lie. But Matt Kenseth got suspended. Bubba Wallace suspended. We've seen Denny Hamlin get fined because he admitted letting go of the wheel into Ross for payback, right? Like, which okay, so actually somebody did pay back Ross. Hamlin paid back Ross. That was his final payback on Ross there.
But that wasn't.
But we saw
payback.
But Larson's the same thing. Like, it wasn't like payback, but it was payback.
I know. I'm saying, like, when's someone gonna Kenseth him? Or when is someone gonna walk up to Ross Chastain after the race and hit him in the face
and slug him? Well, see, and that was the thing with the Bubba Wallace penalty. They didn't penalize him for shoving Kyle Larson 2 or 3 times. They penalized him for the on-track incident, the retaliation, the blatant, obvious retaliation. That would be the real payback, and that's what Brennan Poole alluded to. Somebody needs to whip his ass. I want to see Brennan Poole whip his ass. I want to see Backmarker whip Ross Chastain's ass. And actually, Brennan Poole is a talented race car driver. He's never really gotten the best shots. He is pretty talented, and I feel very bad for him that he didn't get an opportunity to show off more there because he was faster than Austin Dillon. He was passing Austin Dillon way better than his teammate there. Green flag speed isn't going to tell the whole story because he wrecked out early, and green flag speed is obviously not the best indicator. That's why I'm going to do my flags for Dover. I haven't done it yet, but Joe Logano was not 31st in green flag speed. He had a corded tire. It caused him a couple bad laps. Then he rode the last few laps with a damaged car. Same thing with Kevin Harvick. He wasn't 19th or whatever it is in green flag, 13th in green flag speed. He was probably, probably 12th or 11th or something like that. Or maybe he was 13th. I don't know. But the idea is I'll look at incidents and then healthy car laps and adjust based off the field size, based off of that, each lap by lap, how the field was performing, how tire wear, etc. But Ross, you screwed a guy who's trying to make a name for himself, Brennan Poole. You screwed arguably the fastest car in the race, probably the fastest car in the race, Kyle Larson. For what?
On lap 80. I can't get over lap 80. Like, and it was actually one, I'm not glad, but so right before it happened, I had the odds open. I had like FanDuel open, and Larson was like plus 450. And I was like, I'm going to put more money on Larson because that car is so fucking fast. And then that happened, and I'm like, well, good thing I didn't bet. But two, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I understand, and I don't want people to call us hypocrites because we say that drivers need to have personality, drivers need to be aggressive. Obviously, Ross Chastain's getting the comparison to Dale Earnhardt. I like it. I think NASCAR needs a villain. NASCAR needs another villain. My thing with Ross Chastain is you're not winning races, dude. You've won 2 races in your Cup Series career and 162 starts. I understand he has not been in the best equipment. You've won 2 races in the Xfinity Series in 198 starts. You've won 4 races in the Truck Series in 103 starts. There's a difference between just being an aggressive asshole and being a good driver. And I understand he's leading the points right now. But until these aggressive tactics start turning into wins, I'm going to be on the side of Ross Chastain's just a fucking asshole. And I want someone to hit him in the fucking mouth. Because I think that's what that's what needs to happen. Do you think there are more drivers right now in the garage that are pissed off at Ross Chastain or like him?
Pissed off. I mean, his own teammate was pissed off with him. Coda.
It's insane. And Danielle Trotta on Twitter, I don't know if you saw her tweets.
I have. I think she's a little unfair to him. I mean, she was unfair to him in my opinion in the Harvick Atlanta incident where he didn't touch Harvick. And somehow it still gets blamed. And that's part of the whole hashtag thanks Ross, whatever. He's getting blamed for things that aren't his fault. But she absolutely deserved to lay into him here for this one.
Yeah, as I say with him, he doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt right now. And won't for a while. Because it's not if something happens a couple of times, yes, it might be coincidence. But when you're at the center of all of these issues, you're probably the issue, dude. Yep. Whatever the Taylor Swift lyric is, you're the issue. You're the problem. And
maybe instead of Fernando Alonso and Taylor Swift, maybe it should be Ross Chastain and Taylor Swift.
You see, didn't
Bubba Wallace had good songs. Let me get some good songs.
Bubba Wallace had a pretty good comment about that, didn't he? I feel like I saw something, but yeah, Ross Chastain. Like at the same time, like I said, I'm playing both sides here, and I don't care if anybody calls me out on this, but I was halfway rooting for Chastain to wreck Truex for the win. Like I was also rooting for that. Like, but that makes sense to me. That makes sense. If you're going to be the new Dale Earnhardt, and get the win, but don't wreck a back marker on lap 80. That, and obviously it was just bad timing and bad placement, and that's why Kyle Larson got caught up in it. But it's still lap 80. There's no reason for this to be happening. So I don't think Chastain's ever going to change how he races.
No.
And I don't say I want him to, but at the same time, I want someone to punch him in the mouth.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And by the way, I was looking at green flag speed because we were talking about that with like Brennan Poole and all that stuff. So I talked about how Dover, and we'll go into your line about it, but real quick, I want to make this point. We talk about Dover is predictive until it's not, and like chaos ensues at Dover. And it happens at Dover all the time. Chaos. But when the chaos didn't happen, the 9 fastest guys in green flag speed, not counting Daniel Suarez, who wrecked way early in the race, the other 9 fastest guys, so first through 10th minus Daniel Suarez, those 9 guys finished first through 9th.
That's what. Yep.
So
I was looking at driver rating from that race, which is obviously a little bit different than green flag speed, but basically the guys that were up front all day stayed up there. You know, unless you had a major issue, like Kevin Harvick, which by the way, I think he was faster than you remember him being. Finished 19th, but he was one of the few that
he was outside the top 10 for a lot of the day, not making hay, and it changed later in the race.
I think you're not remembering it right.
My flags will show you different. I guarantee.
I hope so, but from what I remember watching Harvick, I think he was a lot better than you think he was. But,
it was later in the race. Later in the race, yes, he got better. But that first 2/3 of the race, he was not good. It was all of a sudden, right before the end of stage 2, though, he corded that tire and lost a lap.
And that's when his day went to shit.
Yeah, but before that, up until about halfway through stage 2, he was literally just running 12th, 10th, 13th, 8th, 9th, etc. throughout the whole first half of the race. 100%.
I think we watched different races, but I could be wrong.
We did not. I was paying attention to Harvick because he was one of the ones that we needed for the 11 to 20 starting position.
Yeah.
Man, he's just not. He's not moving.
Yeah, you have to let me know your flags metric once you get that done with Harvick.
I will. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow because we're a day behind. Usually I do flags on Tuesday, but since today is Tuesday of a normal week, it's going to have to be Wednesday. Plus, also, and you and I talked about this on Stacking Dennys last week, that Denny Hamlin bracket thing. Well, the Dirty Mo Media
upsets.
is doing. And so there are some upsets from the other people that are doing it, but Dirty Mo Media is starting it this week. So the actual actions detrimental, Dirty Mo Media, etc. They're starting it this week. So I'm trying to run some simulations for the 5 weeks to fill out my own bracket, essentially to see, kind of what I think of all the various matchups and basically do a March Madness version of this. Hopefully I'm going to get something up on Action Network, but so I was trying to get together data for Kansas this week to run my model. Tomorrow I'm going to have to do flags, but I'm also going to try to simulate the next 4 races as well, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, etc. So it's fun. I'm excited. I get to simulate like 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks ahead of time, but it's going to be a lot of work, and hopefully we'll have some of that stuff up on Action Network. Obviously, we're not going to use it for gambling purposes, but I think the idea is like, we got a bracket. Let's have some fun with some brackets, right? So, because we make March Madness content at Action Network on brackets. Sean Kerner, my boss, director of predictive analytics, he does an article on here's my March Madness bracket, and so while it's not like bet this guy, bet that guy, whatever, it's like here's how I'm filling out my bracket, which is totally cool per the rules of the Dirty Mo Media. So that's what I'm trying to do is like here's how I'm going to fill out my bracket for Dirty Mo Media contests, whatever you want to call it for NASCAR.
Nice.
What's your whine about it?
My whine about it, and it actually kind of segues from the Ross Chastain thing, but overall it's just people that don't understand how to analyze things. And what set this thought off, one, Ross Chastain, because I feel like a lot of people cannot separate sometimes Ross is an asshole and sometimes he's not. And it's black or white for them. They cannot separate it. They cannot do it. But the biggest thing, I saw a tweet today that said Ty Gibbs should be priced in the $9,000 range on DraftKings because of his hot streak. Don't get me wrong. Ty Gibbs is running and getting finishes. Ty Gibbs is getting good finishes right now. Okay. I understand that. I get that that's a hot streak. To do such lazy analysis of this, though, The $9,000 plus range for DraftKings is reserved for guys that can actually dominate the race. Ty Gibbs this season has 44 fastest laps on the entire year. On the entire year. That's
race.
less than Austin Dillon. That's less than Eric Almirola. That's less than Josh Berry. Okay?
Who hasn't even started all the races. Yeah.
We go to laps led. Ty Gibbs has led 4 laps this year. Stop making stupid statements like this. Ty Gibbs should not be priced. Ty Gibbs is priced perfectly in the $7,000 range on DraftKings. That's where Ty Gibbs deserves. Yes,
he's 19th in the standings.
He's 19th. Getting good. He's getting good finishes. Stop saying that good finishes equal good runs.
Sorry, 18th.
This was the first race that Ty Gibbs legitimately looked good. Okay?
Yeah.
And I will admit that Ty Gibbs looked good. Now let's look at what he actually did in that race. Yes, he was legitimately running top 5. Let's look at fastest laps from Dover. Ty Gibbs, 7. Joey Logano had more. Austin Dillon had more. Like, Kyle Larson, who got wrecked in the beginning of the race, had more fastest laps than Ty Gibbs. Like, stop overblowing finishes. Like, yes, finishing position is great. For DraftKings, it's great. Yes, it is a easy indicator of what drivers are good, but it does not tell the whole story. Stop using one statistic to tell your whole story and cherry picking one statistic to tell your story.
Here's something about Ty Gibbs. So we're going to, you also have to remember, we're going to Kansas this weekend, right? We're going to Kansas. The best comparable track for Kansas, aside from Kansas itself, is Las Vegas. They are the 2 most similar tracks in all of NASCAR. Ty Gibbs in flags for Vegas earlier this year, 22nd in flags out of 36 drivers, a rating of 0.435, whereas 0.5 is neutral, like you're better than half the field, you're worse than half the field. So 0.435, so 43.5 percentile on a lap-by-lap basis relative to healthy cars, weighted for the number of cars on the track, and weighted for track position as well. Obviously, if you're further in the field, it's harder to go faster, so I take that into account. So
that's
weighted and track position adjusted, 22nd for Ty Gibbs in speed.
He started fourth in that race. Qualified fourth in that race, finished 22nd, and was not good.
Yeah.
Like,
this is not a $9,000 driver.
No, and he's not like, if he ever is, I will go 0% on him, because tell me you don't understand how DraftKings works without telling me you don't. And the worst part is this is a guy that gives DFS advice and charges for it. That is just insane to me. I can't get over this.
We all make bad calls. I made plenty of bad calls. I would agree that is a bad call. So,
this is a different. This isn't a bad call. This is the worst call I've ever heard. Not ever.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the worst call I've ever heard, but there's no chance Ty Gibbs should be $9,000+ on DraftKings.
I'd bitch if he was 8,000. Like, it's just not where he's at right now.
He shouldn't be 8,000 either. I agree. 100% agree.
But yeah, that's my wine about it, and those are our wine about it's presented by L'uva Bella Winery. As always, I will drop the link. You can get those wines shipped to you. I actually have a shipment coming.
Order those wines. I was to say, I order the wines. I actually, have mine coming in a little while as well. But order L'uva Bella wines, because holy shit, they're good. They have a wide variety, a huge selection as well. So you will be able to find something you like. For me, even the ones I don't typically like, even the wines from L'uva Bella Wines, like the styles, the kinds of wines I typically don't like, the ones I do have are on the better side of the ones, like, if I don't like this kind of wine, but if I had to rate that class of wines, L'uva Bella is always at the top. So, but there's nothing Every week I'm going to do it. There's nothing
Yep.
compared to this. The bourbon barrel aged.
I still need. I have it. It's sitting in my kitchen right now. I need to just open it and try it. Maybe I'll do that next week on next week's episode.
It's your birthday, man.
Because I am okay. I can't stress this enough. I'm not a wine guy. I don't like wine.
I understand.
But I like L'uva Bella wines. It's like I could drink Purple Rain for breakfast. That's how.
And you and I are. You and I, like you said, we're not going to blow smoke up your ass. If you don't like wine, if you don't like a certain wine, you're going to say it. There was some of the L'uva Bella wines I was like, this is not for me. But I can understand why other people would like it, type deal. Mm-hmm. So we're straight shooters. We'll say it like it is. But this, for me, this wine is one of the best I've ever had of any wine, of any type, of any brand, of any company, ever. Period.